respected. If you don't learn how to control your mind will control your life. Every victory begins in the mind. Every defeat starts there too. The moment you train your mind to win every day, you stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. Today, I want to share a truth that could change your entire future. There is something most people never understand. Winning is not an event. Winning is a habit. Many people think successful people wake up every morning feeling motivated, confident, and ready to conquer the world. They imagine that champions somehow possess a secret energy that ordinary people don't have. But that's not true. The truth is far less glamorous and far more powerful. The people who win in life are not always the strongest. They are not always the smartest. They are not always the most talented. They are simply the people who trained their minds to keep moving when everyone else stopped. Think about that for a moment. Every morning when your alarm rings, your mind immediately begins talking to you. It tells you what you can do and what you cannot do. It reminds you of your failures. It brings back your fears. It whispers excuses that sound reasonable. Just 5 more minutes. You can start tomorrow. You are too tired. You are not ready. Most people listen to those voices. And because they listen, their dreams slowly disappear. But winners hear those same voices and make a different decision. They get up anyway. You see, your life changes the moment you realize that you are not fighting the world every day. You are fighting your own mind. Years ago, imagine a young man sitting alone in a small room. His pockets are empty. His bills are stacked on a table. The future looks uncertain. Every person around him sees limitations. Every circumstance tells him to quit. But he has one thing, a decision that his current situation will not become his permanent destination. Every morning he wakes up with doubts. Every night he goes to sleep with fears. But he keeps taking one step forward, one day, then another, not because he feels powerful, because he trained himself to act despite fear. That's what separates extraordinary people from ordinary people. They don't wait for confidence. They create confidence through action. Most people believe confidence comes first. No, action comes first. Confidence follows. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Were you confident before you started? Of course not. You fell. You struggled. You made mistakes. But every time you got back up, your confidence grew. Life works exactly the same way. The reason so many people stay stuck is because they are waiting to feel ready. But readiness is a myth. Nobody feels ready for greatness. Nobody feels ready to chase a dream that scares them. Nobody feels ready to leave comfort behind. The people who succeed simply move before they feel prepared. And that's why training your mind is so important, because your mind loves comfort. Your mind wants safety. Your mind wants familiarity. Your mind wants to protect you from risk. But growth lives outside comfort. Success lives outside familiarity. Your future lives outside the boundaries of what feels safe today. Every day your mind gives you a choice. Stay where you are, or become who you were created to be. And that choice appears in small moments, when nobody is watching, when no applause exists, when no reward is guaranteed. Those moments determine your future. A person doesn't become successful because of one big decision. They become successful because of thousands of small decisions. Choosing discipline over excuses. Choosing effort over comfort. Choosing faith over fear. Choosing persistence over quitting. The world celebrates the result, but the result is born in private battles nobody ever sees. That's why some people look at successful individuals and say they were lucky. They see the trophy, but they never saw the training. They see the victory, but they never saw the sacrifice. They see the destination, but they never walked the journey. The truth is that every successful person has had moments when quitting seemed easier. Every successful person has experienced rejection. Every successful person has heard criticism. Every successful person has doubted themselves. The difference is not that they avoided these experiences. The difference is that they refused to let those experiences control them. Your mind is like a garden. If you don't plant positive thoughts, negative thoughts will grow automatically. If you don't build discipline, excuses will take over. If you don't feed your dreams, your fears will consume them. And here's what I want you to understand today. You don't have to win the entire year today. You don't have to solve every problem today. You don't have to achieve every goal today. You only have to win today. Just today. Train your mind to win this day. Wake up and keep your promises to yourself. Take one step toward your dream. Do one thing that makes you stronger. Do one thing that moves you forward. Because small victories create powerful momentum. And momentum changes lives. A train moving at full speed is difficult to stop. A person building daily momentum becomes difficult to defeat. One day of discipline becomes 2. 2 becomes 7. 7 becomes 30. And before you realize it, you've become someone completely different. Not because your circumstances changed first, because your mindset changed first. Everything begins there, in the quiet moments when nobody is watching, in the silent conversations you have with yourself, in the decisions you make when life becomes difficult. That is where winners are created, not on stages, not in spotlights, but inside their minds. And the moment you understand that truth, you begin to see your life differently. Because the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against other people. It is against the version of yourself that wants to stay comfortable while your dreams are calling you to grow. And that battle begins again tomorrow morning. The next morning arrives just like every other morning. The sun rises, the world wakes up, and once again, your mind begins speaking. For some people, that voice becomes their greatest enemy. For others, it becomes their greatest weapon. The difference lies in training. Nobody is born with an unstoppable mindset. Nobody enters this world with perfect discipline. Nobody arrives equipped with endless confidence. Those qualities are built. They are earned. They are developed through daily repetition. Imagine a young athlete preparing for the biggest competition of his life. Every day before sunrise, he leaves his warm bed and heads to practice. Some mornings he feels energized. Other mornings he feels exhausted. There are days when his body hurts, days when progress seems invisible, days when nobody notices his effort, but he keeps showing up. Why? Because he understands something most people never learn. Your feelings are temporary. Your habits are permanent. Most people allow their feelings to determine their actions. Winners allow their goals to determine their actions. That single difference changes everything. Think about how many dreams have died because someone listened to a temporary emotion. A person feels discouraged and quits. A person feels afraid and stops trying. A person feels tired and abandons the journey. But emotions come and go like weather. If you make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings, you will spend your life running in circles. The strongest people are not those who never feel fear. The strongest people are those who continue moving while fear walks beside them. I want you to remember that. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is action despite fear. Every successful person you admire has experienced fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment, fear of losing. But they learned to stop treating fear like a stop sign. Instead, they treated it like a signal that growth was near. Because every time you challenge yourself, fear appears. Every time you step into unfamiliar territory, fear arrives. Every time you pursue something meaningful, fear follows. That doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It often means you're on the right one. Too many people spend years trying to eliminate fear. You don't eliminate fear. You outgrow it. You become bigger than it. You train your mind to keep moving forward, regardless of what fear says. And that training happens one decision at a time. I remember hearing a story about a man who lost almost everything. His business collapsed. His savings disappeared. People who once supported him suddenly vanished. For a while, he sat alone, wondering if his life was over. Maybe you felt something similar. Maybe life knocked you down so hard that getting back up felt impossible. Maybe you've stared at a future that looked uncertain. Maybe you've questioned your worth. Maybe you've wondered if your best days were behind you. The man in this story felt all those things. But then one morning he asked himself a powerful question. What if this is not the end of my story? That question changed everything. Because your life often changes when your questions change. Most people ask questions that weaken them. Why am I unlucky? Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I succeed? Those questions keep you trapped. But empowering questions create empowering answers. What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What is the next step forward? Those questions move you toward solutions. The man decided to stop focusing on what he lost and start focusing on what remained. He still had his mind. He still had his determination. He still had another day, and that was enough. Slowly, he rebuilt his life. Not overnight, not in a week, not in a month, one day at a time, one disciplined choice at a time, one courageous decision at a time. That's how real transformation happens. People love dramatic success stories, but success is usually boring. It's waking up when you don't feel like it. It's working when nobody is cheering. It's staying focused when distractions surround you. It's remaining committed long after the excitement disappears. The truth is that motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll have it. Some days you won't. If your success depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. That's why discipline matters so much. Discipline allows you to keep going when motivation leaves. Discipline is what carries you through difficult seasons. Discipline is what turns dreams into reality. Imagine two people standing at the starting line. One waits until they feel inspired. The other begins immediately. After a year, who do you think will be further ahead? The answer is obvious. Action creates results. Waiting creates regret. Your future is being built right now. Not someday. Not next year. Today. Every thought you allow into your mind is shaping your future. Every habit you repeat is shaping your future. Every decision you make is shaping your future. That can feel overwhelming, but it can also feel empowering because it means your future is not completely controlled by circumstances. It is influenced by your daily choices. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you control how you respond. You control your attitude. You control your effort. You control your willingness to continue. And those things matter more than most people realize. There will be days when life feels unfair. Days when others seem to move ahead while you're struggling. Days when your hard work appears unnoticed. Don't let those moments poison your mind. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy progress. Your journey is your journey. Your timeline is your timeline. Your purpose is your purpose. Stop measuring your chapter 3 against someone else's chapter 20. Focus on becoming better than you were yesterday. That is the competition that truly matters. Because when you train your mind to improve daily, you become unstoppable. Not instantly, gradually, steadily, powerfully. And one day you'll look back and realize that the greatest victory wasn't the money you earned. It wasn't the recognition you received. It wasn't the goals you achieved. The greatest victory was becoming the person capable of achieving them. Because success is never just about what you accomplish. It's about who you become along the way. And every single day, your mind is deciding who that person will be. The question is simple. Are you training your mind to make excuses? Or are you training your mind to win? There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize that the biggest obstacle standing in their way is not a lack of money, not a lack of opportunity, not even a lack of talent. It is the story they keep telling themselves. Think about it. Every day, people wake up and repeat the same thoughts. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm too old. I'm too late. Someone else is better than me. At first, those thoughts seem harmless, but over time, they become beliefs, and beliefs become reality. Your mind believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly tell yourself that you're weak, your actions will reflect weakness. If you constantly tell yourself that you're unlucky, you'll begin looking for evidence to support that belief. But if you tell yourself that you can learn, grow, and overcome obstacles, your mind starts searching for ways to make that happen. That is why training your mind is not just important. It is essential. Your life follows the direction of your dominant thoughts. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with rocks. Every negative belief is another rock. Every excuse is another rock. Every fear is another rock. Eventually, the weight becomes unbearable. Not because life is impossible, because you've been carrying unnecessary burdens. Many people are exhausted not from their circumstances, but from the mental weight they carry every day. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the pain of old mistakes, the disappointment of past losses. These things consume energy, they steal focus, they drain hope, and they prevent growth. One of the most powerful things you can do is learn to release what no longer serves you. There are people listening right now who are still allowing yesterday to control today. A mistake made years ago still defines their confidence. A rejection from the past still shapes their decisions. A painful experience still determines how much they believe in themselves. But listen carefully. You cannot move toward your future while constantly staring at your past. At some point, you must forgive yourself. At some point, you must stop reliving the worst moments of your life. At some point, you must decide that your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Because every successful person has made mistakes. Every successful person has failed. Every successful person has experienced setbacks. The difference is that they learned from those experiences instead of living inside them. Think about a seed buried beneath the ground. From the outside, it looks insignificant, invisible, forgotten. But underneath the surface, something powerful is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Growth is beginning. Many people quit during that stage. They don't see immediate results, so they assume nothing is happening. But some of the most important growth in life occurs where nobody can see it. Maybe you're in that season right now. Maybe you've been working hard and seeing little reward. Maybe you've been trying to improve yourself while feeling unnoticed. Maybe you've been fighting battles that nobody understands. Don't underestimate the value of unseen growth. A tree doesn't appear overnight. A strong foundation takes time. Your progress may be invisible today, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. The problem is that modern life teaches people to expect instant results, instant entertainment, instant gratification, instant success. But real achievement follows a different timeline. It requires patience, consistency, persistence, faith, and those qualities are becoming increasingly rare. That's exactly why they are so valuable. When you train your mind to stay focused while others become distracted, you gain an advantage. When you train your mind to stay disciplined while others become lazy, you gain an advantage. When you train your mind to stay committed while others quit, you gain an advantage. The greatest rewards often belong to those who simply refuse to stop. I want to tell you something that could completely change how you view difficult seasons. Hard times are not always punishment. Sometimes they are preparation. Sometimes life is building muscles you don't yet realize you'll need. Sometimes challenges are preparing you for responsibilities that are coming. Sometimes struggles are teaching lessons success never could. Look back at your own life. Some of the experiences that hurt the most probably taught you the most. Some of the moments you wanted to avoid became the moments that made you stronger. Pain has a way of revealing what comfort cannot. It shows you your strength. It reveals your character. It teaches resilience. And resilience is one of the greatest assets a person can possess. Because life will never be free from challenges. There will always be obstacles. There will always be unexpected setbacks. There will always be moments when things don't go according to plan. The goal is not to avoid adversity. The goal is to become stronger than adversity. That happens when you train your mind. Every challenge becomes a classroom. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow. Suddenly, difficulties stop looking like enemies. They become teachers. And the people who understand this truth become incredibly powerful because they stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That mindset transforms everything. A problem that once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. A failure that once felt devastating becomes educational. A setback that once felt permanent becomes temporary. The situation may remain the same, but your perspective changes, and perspective is powerful. Two people can experience the exact same storm. One sees destruction, the other sees opportunity. One sees an ending, the other sees a beginning. What separates them? Their mindset, the story they tell themselves, the way they interpret what happens. That's why training your mind matters so much, because life is not just happening around you. It is happening through the lens of your thoughts. The stronger your mindset becomes, the stronger your life becomes. The more disciplined your thinking becomes, the more disciplined your actions become. The more hopeful your thinking becomes, the more possibilities you begin to notice. And eventually, something remarkable happens. You stop reacting to life. You start leading it. You stop being controlled by circumstances. You start influencing them. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You start creating progress under imperfect conditions. That is when real power begins. Not when life becomes easy, but when your mind becomes strong enough to handle whatever life brings. And every single day you have a choice. Feed your doubts or feed your dreams. Strengthen your excuses or strengthen your discipline. Focus on limitations or focus on possibilities. Because whatever you feed grows, and whatever grows eventually shapes your destiny. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to remember something that may stay with you long after this video is over. Your life is not determined by one extraordinary day. It is determined by ordinary days repeated over and over again. The truth is that greatness is not built in moments of comfort. It is built in moments of decision. The decision to get up when you feel tired. The decision to keep going when progress feels slow. The decision to believe in yourself when nobody else does. The decision to continue when quitting would be easier. Those decisions may seem small, but they are shaping your future right now. Somewhere in the world, there is a version of you that is stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more confident than the person you are today. That version of you is not created by luck. That version of you is created by daily choices. Every morning you wake up, you are casting a vote for the person you will become. Every action matters. Every habit matters. Every thought matters. And while you may not be able to control everything that happens in your life, you can control the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you move forward. That is where your power lives. Not in perfect circumstances, not in endless motivation, not in waiting for someone to rescue you. Your power lives inside the mind you choose to build every single day. There will be difficult mornings ahead. There will be moments when doubt tries to convince you to stop. There will be days when the road feels lonely. But remember this, you do not need to win every battle today. You only need to refuse to surrender. You only need to take the next step. You only need to keep moving forward, because success is rarely about making one giant leap. It is about taking thousands of small steps that nobody notices until one day everyone notices. The result: one day the discipline will pay off. One day the sacrifices will make sense. One day the habits you will building right now will become the foundation of a life you once only dreamed about. And when that day comes, you'll realize something powerful. The greatest victory was never the money. It was never the recognition. It was never the achievement. The greatest victory was conquering the mind that once told you that you couldn't do it. The greatest victory was becoming stronger than your excuses. The greatest victory was learning how to believe when doubt was loud. Because the person who masters their mind can overcome almost anything. So starting today, make a promise to yourself. Stop speaking weakness into your future. Stop allowing fear to make your decisions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Train your mind to win. Train it when life is good. Train it when life is hard. Train it when nobody is watching. Train it until discipline becomes your identity. Train it until perseverance becomes your habit. Train it until success is no longer a matter of if, but when. And every morning when you open your eyes, remind yourself of one simple truth. I may not control everything that happens today, but I will control my attitude, my effort, and my determination. I will not let excuses decide my future. I will not let fear steal my purpose. I will not let temporary setbacks become permanent defeats. I will train my mind to win today, and then I will do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, because that is how champions are made. That is how dreams become reality. That is how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. Your future is waiting. Your potential is waiting. Your best chapter is waiting. Now go forward with courage. Go forward with faith. Go forward with discipline. And most importantly, go forward with a winning mind. Because when you learn to master your mind, you learn to master your life.